if I can see it, then it must be a reality.
La historia que hoy os quiero compartir es una de las más motivadoras e inspiradoras. Suscríbete y compártelo. Es totalmente recomendable para nuestros jóvenes y, por supuesto, para nosotros mismos. Siempre podemos aprender y mejorar algo en nuestras vidas.
And I started having visions, very clear visions of being a Mr. Austria. Then there were pictures of the Mr. Europe contest. So I visualized myself being in the Mr. Europe contest and winning. And then I saw pictures of Reg Park, which is a British bodybuilder. So that became kind of my idol. And I saw pictures of him winning Mr. Universe in London. And so that was my new vision. So I started really creating through this guy's a vision. But that vision was so vivid, so clear, that I felt like all I had to do now is just follow through with the work. So let me now find out what needs to be done. And so I read about Reg Park. How did he train? He trained like 4 or 5 hours a day. This and that. And I just wrote everything down, and I started following his routine. And I was absolutely convinced that I will be another Reg Park. And so that's how I really developed my first rule that I always talk about to success is you got to have a very clear vision of where you want to go. Because if you don't have that, you're just floating around. And so, I was very fortunate that I created that vision. I was very fortunate that there was not the side kind of things going on. We didn't have a phone in our house. We didn't have a television in our house. At that time, there were no iPhones, there were no iPads, there was no computer. There was just really, you had all the time in the world to think and to really just sit quietly and to just visualize. And I always say that I feel sorry for kids today that are spending hours and hours on that iPhone or an iPad or computer, and they don't give themselves that chance to just settle back and to just figure out what do they want to do or who do they want to be. And so this is why I think that I made that kind of the rule number one is, visualize. And I always compare it to that you can have the best airplane in the world with the most advanced pilot. But if he doesn't know where to go, he's just going to fly around until it crashes. And that's what happens to you in life. If you don't know where you want to go and who you want to be, you eventually just float around and you eventually crash. And that's why a lot of people are unhappy. The only way really was, in order to be happy, is to create my own world and to visualize. That's why people sometimes read a lot, because they want to escape into another story, or the day they watch movies to go and to see another, to escape into another story and all this stuff. For me, that wasn't available. Because of that world, that negative world, I had to kind of create my own world. So I was just always daydreaming of wonderful things. So I developed that art, and it put a smile on my face. So clearly when I then saw Mr. Austria or Mr. Universe, and I saw this guys and saw photographs of it, and I read about it in the magazines, I created my vision. And I saw in that vision myself being up on that stage. And I saw myself, people screaming around me, and screaming, Arnold, Arnold, Arnold. And all this crazy stuff. It was all insane, crazy stuff. Stuff that I never shared in those days with anybody. Because visualizing became a normal thing. And I never really knew that I had really a very special ability to visualize and to connect the dots, to say to myself, well, if I can see it, then it must be a reality. And I can make it a reality. So for me, the vision became a reality. So it was only then a matter of following through with the work to get there. And when I had a vision about anything, I had to work my ass off. But it was pleasure. See, that is the great thing. When you go to work, and you know exactly why you're working, then it becomes fun, a challenge. It's entertaining sometimes. And when you read that 78% of the American people hate their jobs, now think about that.
Así que ya sabes, imagina en grande, crea tu mundo y vívelo. Si te ha gustado, suscríbete y comparte a alguien al que quieras ayudar y motivar. Gracias por llegar hasta aquí.